Knuckleheads, the New York State Athletic Commission has just severely dropped the ball in its review of the knockdown in the Lamont Roach versus Tank Davis fight. And it's so shocking, and I'm so flabbergasted, not just as a fight fan and as a former kickboxing promoter for several years, but as an attorney for even more than several years. My conscience is shocked and appalled by what seems to be the decision they've reached according to these articles we're seeing online. So I just wanted to kind of go over it with you and help you understand why I'm so disgusted by this, so that maybe you guys can understand what's going on here, right? So first and foremost, what I'm hearing from these articles online is that NYSAC, right, the New York State Athletic Commission, has reached out to Lamont Roach's attorney and told him, and mind you, I'm paraphrasing from the article, and told him that Steve Willis made a mistake. The knockdown should have indeed been ruled a knockdown, but we're still not going to overturn it. Sorry, not sorry. We have direct evidence in the form of a replay available in countless different angles, right? From countless different cameras, right? Including the ones in the audience. I mean, we're talking potentially tens to hundreds of different angles of direct evidence. And that direct evidence is not enough for a sanctioning body to be able to overturn the decision it's made in the past. I mean, I want you guys to think about this for a moment, right? Because we live in a country, right, where the most stringent standard, the most stringent legal standard, is a phrase you may have heard, beyond a reasonable doubt, right? And the best way to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal court, I mean, forget this little sanctioning body up in New York, in criminal court at the highest stakes, the best way to prove your point and win your case is with direct evidence. Using that same standard, or even the lower standard in civil court of preponderance of the evidence. Any judge worth his weight in whatever you want would find that the person has met their burden and would overrule this decision. I mean, how is it that a sanctioning body can have a evidentiary burden that's so far beyond a case involving a potential death penalty, right? How is it that a sanctioning body can have an evidentiary burden beyond what we have in criminal court in the United States of America? Because that's the only logical way they could look at tens or hundreds or maybe even more camera angles, right? Not to mention witness testimony and everything else you can gather. That's the only way they can look at this evidence and say it's not enough. If this is not enough, knuckleheads, please explain to me what would be enough for the New York State Athletic Commission, which is supposed to have replay, and apparently the replay didn't work on this one, right? That's what I'm hearing. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm hearing. How can it be that a commission like the New York State Athletic Commission can see this much evidence, can screw up the replay situation, and still decide that, oh, this fight needs to remain a draw, even though we think the referee made a mistake, even though we think it should have been ruled a knockdown? What is your power? What is your purpose as an athletic commission? I don't, for the life of me, understand. If somebody can please point me to whatever evidentiary standard is needed to appeal or have these situations reviewed, I would love to see it, because whatever it is, based on what I've seen, based on my understanding of the law, it's got to be a burden. Potentially, maybe it's got to be a burden that's somehow higher than the most stringent legal burden in the nation. And who's left out to dry? Lamont Roach. Now, mind you, I picked Tank Davis to win. A lot of people are going to say, oh, FightersRep, you're a hater. You're a hater. You wanted Lamont Roach to win. No, bro. I picked Tank Davis to win by 8th round knockout. I would have looked good if he would have done what I thought he was going to do. He didn't. This is about the truth. This is about honesty. This is about keeping it a buck, like the kids say, right? What happened here? Where is the justice for Lamont Roach? A win in this situation for Lamont Roach would have done wonders for his career. I mean, look what the draw is doing. He's on Club Shay Shay, and he's over there, and he's over here, and he's getting all this praise. Imagine had he gotten the victory, which he would have deserved based on the scorecards and what looks to everybody on planet Earth, except for the New York State Athletic Commission, or I can't even say that because they admitted it was a knockdown. Looks to everybody on Earth as it's a knockdown. What has to be done? Do we got to get Trump involved? Do we got to get Musk involved? Robert Kennedy? What needs to be done for a group of individuals to look at the obvious evidence and do the right thing? And so now for me, this really stinks. This is a big problem. This really stinks. This is a big problem, and somebody needs a talking to. Somebody needs a talking to, because what's happening here to Lamont Roach is an injustice. And it may not be as serious as an injustice in criminal court, but it certainly is as serious as an injustice in civil court. Because this guy is not going to be making the same amount of money in his next fights, and not going to be getting the same amount of shine and potential endorsements and everything else in his next fights and going forward as he would have had he gotten the correct decision based on the scorecards, based on what happened, which is a decision win for Lamont Roach. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I am absolutely disgusted by this entire situation. After you do that, subscribe to the channel. Join the channel. There are multiple levels you can join. Be a part of this boxing fraternity of ours, where we tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Also, don't forget to pick up your merch below. Help me continue to build this thing and get the heck out this rat race.
Subscribe and join the FightersRep. It'll be the best thing you ever did, knucklehead.